Hello and welcome to JSB Talks Digital, the podcast for marketers, small business owners, and those of you bringing your skills into the digital age. I'm Joanne Sweeney-Burke and I'm the founder and CEO of Digital Training Institute. Coming up in today's show, Snapchat overtakes Twitter in daily usage. Instagram's new logo generates lots of chatter, but what about the less visible algorithm changes? Facebook Live encourages us to put ourselves on the live streaming map. Mark Schaefer gives me his top 3 tips to overcome content shock. I speak to Ian Cleary, founder of Razor Social, about how to make money from social media. My featured column, Cyberbullying is a thing, and the social media tool that saved my working week.
Social media news.
Working in the world of social media is like taking Concorde to work every day. It moves faster than the speed of light. Also moving at record speed is Snapchat. I have to admit, I was surprised to learn that it has now overtaken Twitter in daily usage numbers. Twitter was founded in 2006. Today it boasts 136 million daily users. Snapchat, meanwhile, was founded in 2012. Today it boasts 150 million daily users. Some social media commentators attribute Snapchat's rapid growth to the demographic primarily using the platform, that being Generation Z, those born from the mid-1990s to the noughties. However, I feel the increasing shift in numbers to Snapchat reflects an overall move towards video and real-time marketing in particular. While Twitter has given us Periscope and more recently the ability to save our videos, which previously disappeared after 24 hours, I feel they were just a little too late to the hop. Personalization is also hot right now in social media marketing, and Snapchat is becoming a very personal storytelling space to navigate. Take a look at how well we are getting to know our friends on Snapchat, social influencers, and even celebrities. Kudos to Snapchat for iterating their platform at supersonic speed. Now, in other social media news, Instagram's new logo has been getting us all tied up in a social media knot. Some love it, some hate it, some wonder why they had to change it and all. However, my friends, perhaps it's Instagram's algorithm change that we really should be focusing on. The new Instagram algorithm means that you still see everything, but the order of the photos and videos in your feed will be based on your actions. Your feed will present posts according to the likelihood you'll be interested in it, on your relationship with the person posting it, and the timeliness of that post. Does that sound familiar? A little bit like Facebook, my friends. Finally, Facebook Live is encouraging us to put ourselves on the live streaming map. Have you clicked into the Facebook Live map yet? You can now see who is live around the world with a map showing Facebook Live streams that are public. Go check it out at facebook.com/live map and be amazed.
Interview.
In today's show, I'm joined by one of my all-time favourite social media influencers, Ian Cleary. Ian is the founder of RazorSocial.com. He's a multi-award-winning blogger, writer and international speaker. But behind all of those accolades, he's also a guy with his feet firmly on the ground, down to earth and always open to giving you some of his really smart advice. Ian, you are very welcome to JSB Talks Digital. Thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, thank you very much for having me, John.
Firstly, tell us a little bit about your story. How did a son of Dublin come to be one of the world's greatest social influencers in a period of a short few years?
Well, it was through a lot of hard work, actually. But, my background is technology, and I drifted out of technology. I started doing some social media work. Somebody asked me, would I give a presentation on social media? And at that stage, I knew nothing about it. So I said, sure. The best way of learning it is to train people. So I did that, and then I just got a taste for it and an interest, and I wanted to do something internationally. So I was doing training in Ireland and consultancy around social media. I wanted to do something internationally. So I decided I'd set up a blog, I'd start going to the US, and I made a list of the top 100 influencers in social media, and most of them were in the US. And then I just tried to build relationship with them and write really good content. I specialized around, the tools and technical side to social media and content marketing. And that was a good niche to help me stand out. So a combination of writing great content in a niche that helped me stand out, building the relationships with the influencers online and in person when I traveled to the US. And that just really helped the blog develop and, build a good audience and build a good reputation, and then getting onto the speaking circuit in the US.
So as you said, you are known as the social media tools guy, but I think you're a lot more than that. I think you've actually reverse engineered how we use social media, and you've developed your own system for what I call making money from social media.
Yeah.
Tell us about the model Prism.
Yeah, so I felt there was too much talk about, building relationships, engagement, and, there's nothing wrong with that. It's super valuable. But as businesses, we want to go, well, how does that actually lead to additional revenue in our business? And there's a 5-step model we have that helps business understand, what is that process going from a tweet or a Facebook update all the way through to the sale. And model, it's an acronym called PRISM. So it's P for people. So you start off building an audience. So you build an audience of fans and followers across social media channels. Or for relationships, you need to build relationships with that audience, because people are more likely to do business with you and interact with your content if there's a relationship with them. And providing really valuable, useful content is a good way of building relationships at scale. So or for relationships, I for inbound traffic. So after you do all that work on social media, you need to get people to your website, because that's still where action takes place. People don't buy products and services on social media. They hear about you, you build a relationship with them, but you need to drive them to your site. Now, when you drive them to your site, you'd ideally want them to buy products and services, but they're not always ready. If they're ready to buy, great, they go ahead and buy. If they're not ready, we're on to S for subscribers and social retargeting. So you try to encourage people to become an email subscriber, for example, because now if they didn't buy, at least you've captured their details and you can continue to market to them. And if they didn't hand over their email address, you can still record the fact that they visited your website and then retarget them with ads on Facebook or other platforms. So just because they visit your website, certain pages of your website, you can then advertise immediately after that. And then the last is M for monetization, which is, you have these visitors that come to your website, you have these email subscribers. What are the steps involved in taking it from there to actually generate the sales? And that's where you build out sales funnels, which is just like a series of steps somebody follows. And, people can take different routes. They might immediately buy the next step. If they don't buy, then you might advertise them, or you might send a series of emails. So you need to build out your sales funnels. And that's the whole process of going from, social media, driving traffic into your site, building subscribers, and then monetizing. So that's the whole PRISM model.
And I can testify to the fact that model works, because I have been using it myself. Ian, social media is ever changing rapidly on a daily basis. How do you keep up? Do you have any tips for marketers?
Yeah, it's challenging. What I do, I read a lot and I educate myself a lot. So, especially at the weekend, I spend a lot of time. I buy courses, from other people and constantly learning. It's finding the most relevant sites, a small number of relevant sites to keep up to date. Social Media Examiner is a very good site from a general social media perspective. I know the content is reviewed 5 or 6 times before it's published, so you know it's good and accurate. So what I'd say is identify 5 or 6 good sites. Use a tool like Feedly, and Feedly, what that does, allows you to bring all the blog posts in from all these different sites into one place. So you can log onto Feedly on a regular basis and just read through the content from these people quite quickly. And I suppose that's the best way to keeping up to speed is finding those 4 or 5 really reliable and trustworthy sites.
And of course, I'm a member of the Razor Blazers community, which you've set up, and I find it a useful place to keep myself knowledgeable and educated. Tell us a little bit about that community.
Sure, thanks. Well, I wanted something that was reasonably low cost, that people could join on a monthly basis, get ongoing education. So, we would do a couple of online workshops every month. I do a private podcast for members. We've just started, we're launching actually this week, tool discounts. So I've reached out to a lot of tool providers, got discounts for people. And we got a private Facebook group so people can chat amongst other members. And what I love in there is that I see other members doing business with each other, other members helping. We're in there interacting because there's a lot of knowledgeable people as part of the group. So there's a sharing, facilitating the sharing of that knowledge is important as well. So like yourself, Joanne, you're a member of the group, but you have a lot of value to add as well. And then we do some guides and templates and how-to videos. And the how-to videos are typically the more technical things that people struggle with. So a low-cost monthly subscription, ongoing training, because in this world of social media and content marketing, it's not about doing one course, it's ongoing education.
You said it, Ian, it's ever-changing and every day is a school day. Thank you so much for your time today. If you want to find out more about Ian Cleary, his Razor Blazers community, or have a question about a particular social media tool or trend, then you won't be disappointed by logging on to razorsocial.com.
Shoutouts.
In this part of the show, I give shout-outs to those who are remarkable online and worth talking about. My first shout-out is to Mark Schaefer, author of The Content Code and the man who coined the phrase content shock, the phenomenon of too much information on the internet. Did you know that online data will increase by 500% by 2020? Guys, that's like 5 internets. So I asked Mark what 3 tips would he give digital marketers to overcome content shock. I got the opportunity to interview Mark at Content Marketing Mastery, which he jointly hosted with Ian Cleary. Mark told me that we have to be aware of the transmission of content, so who is sharing our content, where and why. I also asked him for his top 3 content marketing tips to help us overcome what he has coined content shock. So he says, first, be human. The most human company will win the content battle. 2, have the courage to be original, to bring your story to the content. And 3, he says, just get started, don't obsess about your niche, just get going. My next shout out goes to Schaefer Bar in Galway on the west coast of Ireland. They have used Facebook Live in the most innovative way by launching Schaefer Sports 1, a live commentary by staff and customers ahead of major sporting events. They launched their first one ahead of the Guinness Pro 12 Finals, a European rugby tournament. So Schaefer staff member Owen Kelly went front of screen and interviewed a Connacht and a Leinster fan representing each team. What an innovative use of Facebook Live. To view their Facebook Live, log on to Schaefer Bar on Facebook or to their website, theschaefer.ie.
JSB's column.
Today's column, cyberbullying is a thing. I was pretty despondent recently to read a comment thread on Facebook which went something like this. We are creating a generation of victims by not teaching our children to stand up for themselves. I am suspicious about cyberbullying advocates and what they stand for. Cyberbullying, if you don't like it, turn it off. Personally, I think this is both a naive and far too simplistic view of this very important topic. As many of you will know, I've been working in the area of cyber well-being for 4 years now and have collaborated with my 20-year-old daughter Sophie to produce content and e-learning resources to empower both children and parents to deal with incidents of cyberbullying. We were motivated to do this because as somebody who was able to navigate Sophie through her teenage years and through social media because I'm an expert in the topic, I actually found that parents and friends around me actually didn't have the same skills. So I wanted to fill that knowledge gap. And you know, the stats don't lie. Did you know that 1 in 10 children in Ireland admit to being a cyberbully, while 1 in 5 people will experience cyberbullying in their lifetime? Children are not equipped emotionally to deal with cyberbullying, even if they are technically, in terms of screenshotting, reporting and blocking. Governments, educators, law enforcement and parents are not equipped to manage cyberbullying, and what we are left with are cyberbullying silos. This is why the work of Mary-Alice Curran and David Polgar in creating the Digital Citizenship Summit is going a long way to bringing all stakeholders together to empower the safe, savvy and ethical use of the social web. Using Mike Ribble's 9 elements of digital citizenship, Mary-Alice and David are making cyber well-being centre stage for everyone concerned. And that means me and it means you. We all have a responsibility. Sophie and I had the pleasure of speaking at Digital Citizenship Summit UK in Bournemouth University about how we can empower Generation Z in the digital age. Meanwhile, the second Digital Citizenship Summit US will take place on October 28th, 2016 in Twitter headquarters in San Francisco. So be sure to follow at DigCit Summit on Twitter for more details. And please remember, cyberbullying is a thing. Don't demean its impact, and most certainly don't give bullies a free pass.
Social media tool of the week.
Software as a service is a vital part of my business. I use technology to make my business more efficient, more accountable, and it helps me scale. The same is true of your social media activity. So tools are a vital component of any social or digital marketing strategy. The tool that saved my working week this week is Sendable. Sendable is a social media management tool and more. I manage multiple social media accounts for clients, and it's just not possible to manually do this job and do it well. Think about publishing evergreen content, value-add content, engaging in real-time marketing, being a marketing hack, all the time monitoring your client's brand and online reputation. How can you do this and do it well when you have multiple accounts to manage? Well, Sendable helps me do this and very effectively. Some other really useful features within Sendable are the ability to create industry-specific trending content, influencer content, source media articles and news stories relevant to your sector, multiple account management across Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest, Flickr, SlideShare, Google+, YouTube, WordPress, and Tumblr, and the list goes on. You can monitor brands and keywords, reviews, import contacts, and also they have an SMS autoresponder. So, if you need a social media management tool to make you more efficient and your publishing efforts more effective, take your free 30-day trial now at sendable.co.uk. If you want to learn more about what I've discussed on today's show, log on to digitaltraining.ie and click on podcasts. I'll have links to all of today's stories right there. If you want to learn more from me, join my webinar community at bigmarker.com/Digital Training Institute. You can register for my free monthly webinars on a range of social media and digital marketing topics right there. You'll also find me on Twitter at Tweets by JSB, and don't forget to add me on Snapchat, JSB Snaps. I'm Joanne Sweeney-Burke. Thank you for listening.
JSB Talks Digital.